live.
We're live.
We're live. Good evening.
Hey guys, I have no idea what time it is in the rest of the world, whoever might be watching.
Chicago is 9 o'clock.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock in Chicago. It should be 10 o'clock on the East Coast and 7 o'clock on the West Coast because we're on Mountain Time now. Because of Daylight Savings Time, we don't do that. Anyway, guys.
8 o'clock in Arizona.
Yep, it's 8 p.m. Arizona. So I'm sure you guys all had plans for Friday night, and this probably wasn't part of them, but thanks for sharing some time with us. We have people starting to chime in. Good. So this is pretty much going to be a kind of a short video, depending on the questions, depending on if anybody has any questions.
4 o'clock in the morning in Norway.
4 o'clock in the morning in Norway. We got somebody watching from Norway.
I wish I knew how to speak Norwegian.
Yeah. We have Norwegian roots.
Yeah, my grandparents on my father's side are both from Norway.
Yeah. Anyway, I'd love to get there one of these days. Anyway, we'll kind of play by ear. This is kind of not a normal thing for us. This is very impromptu, even though we did kind of schedule it.
Clark Ward, Kent Cogan, Terry Simmons.
All right. Yeah, a bunch of
Gary
people.
Litchfield,
Hey,
Mike
guys.
Hubbard, Justin
Here they come.
Darren Lindsay.
They're rolling in now.
Everybody's up on Friday night.
Yeah, and it's later most places than it is here.
Minnesota, yep. Sure.
So we're gonna start this off, guys, and see if you guys got any questions. If you don't have any questions, it's no problem. It's no big deal. We'll move on. I did get. Thank you so much for all of the great comments on this morning's video. My kind of my rant. I don't think you saw it, but
No, I didn't.
I went off on kind of a rant about selling and marketing and that kind of thing. It was.
Did you get into politics at all?
No.
No,
Oh,
I did
okay.
not. I did not. No, it was all about.
You hear Vicki? She said no.
No, yeah.
She's afraid of what I might say.
Yeah, we're all a little nervous about that. Yeah.
My knees are feeling better.
Yes. So yeah, that's a good idea. While we're waiting for people to come in, give everybody an update how you're doing.
Yeah, I guess everybody knows I had complete knee replacements on both my knees. One of them was 5 months ago, and the other one was just a little over a month ago. And I'm back. I'm walking a mile a day or a little bit more now, and they still hurt when I stand up or try to stand up. But I'm walking without a cane or a walker or anything. When I go on my walk, I carry my walking stick, but I don't use it for walking. Just in case I run into a rattlesnake, I can fight a rattlesnake off with it. So, but I'm making good progress. I feel a little stronger, a little better each day. My kids are letting me just completely relax, so that's really helping. But progress on my knees as I'm getting better every day. So, just that's just an update.
Excellent.
People
Good.
from all over the place. Minnesota, North Dakota, Florida, Ohio.
Wow, fantastic.
What's that?
Thanks. So, we got people from all over the country
Oh,
chiming in and
It's 18
watching.
degrees in Iowa right now.
Oof, wow.
Yeah, you.
18 degrees in Iowa. Yowza. Anyway, so we're here to do some Q&A. If you guys have some questions on either the video that I did this morning or anything that of what we do, we're happy to answer questions. Let's try and stay away from the political thing because that could go downhill fast.
well, we can talk about marketing.
Yeah, we could talk about marketing. We could talk about anything that you guys have questions for, issues, problems that you're having, in making signs or selling or marketing or anything like that. We're happy to answer whatever questions you've got. So let them go. And if you don't, that's fine. We'll just give this thing away and...
Australia. Good day. Good day, all from Australia. Saturday the 10th at 1 p.m.
It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Australia tomorrow.
Rick Jenkins says you need to find something to get passionate about, like marketing.
I saw your comment, Frank. I just saw that a few minutes ago. Thank you. I laughed. I did laugh. Yeah, once in a while I get kind of worked up. You haven't seen the video yet, but I was getting a little bit worked
Eric
up.
Metzger says, how do you price your signs? Oh, Scotland's here.
It's usually in dollars.
Ooh,
Yeah,
good.
he's feeling better.
Yep, he's feeling better. Normally I go by the square foot. It's not always right by the square foot, but normally I go by the square footage depending on, you know, somewhere around what I think is a minimum, and which I think is a bare minimum these days, is $50 a square foot.
And that's just for a standard sign. If it's going to be something special, special artwork or special graphics, something like that, then the price goes up. But for somewhere around $45 to $50 a square foot,
for instance,
basic price is fair.
Yeah, for instance, this sign is somewhere around 10 by 24, so it's a little less than 2 square feet. Normally, 2 square feet would be, you know, around $100, something like that. But because of the painting, the artwork, and all that, this I probably would charge somewhere around $150 for this sign. So you know, it's all relative. And again, you know, if you're brand new to it and you don't feel like $50, you feel like $50 is too much, it's up to you. But normally I figure things kind of by the square footage as a base. And then if it's real simple, if it's all inset letters, I'll deduct a little off of that. If it's a lot of outset letters, a lot of wording, I'll add to that. If there's artwork, I'll add to it. If there's painting, I'll add.
And remember, when I started this in 1970, even back then I was getting $35 a square foot. So
Yeah.
in all these years, in almost 50 years, we haven't gone up a tremendous amount. But on a sign like this, there's more work as far as time involved, not skill, but time involved in doing all the painting on this.
What the hell
Takes
do you mean
longer
not
to paint
skill?
it than it does to finish it.
What do you mean not skill? What
Well,
the
I
hell
don't-
does that mean?
Well, I don't mean you have to be particularly skillful in order to paint a surface that's already
Okay,
there.
let's move on.
Oh.
It takes,
Hard says, have you ever tried gold leafing? And if you did, what did you think about it?
I have, and yes, and I love it. It's a lot of work involved in it.
When was the last time you did it?
Well, last time I did it was probably 35 years ago, something like that. So it's been a while since I've done it, but in answer to you, yes, I have done it. And I love the results. It's really tremendous on a sign. Very time intensive, takes a lot of time to do it. Have to be very careful. But I do like gold leafing, and I just don't do it anymore.
I never have, but I remember as a kid watching you do it. Yeah. Didn't do it a lot, but every once in a while, that was kind of popular back in the 70s and 80s. It seemed like it was
back
in
the
really
80s. I did quite a bit of it back in the 80s, but I'll tell you the truth, I got where most of the signs I made unfinished. I didn't put any finish on them at all. And because I had 500 dealers or thereabouts that sold my signs for me, I didn't have time to get involved in the painting and the gold leafing and stuff. So I just quit doing it. So
well, even the finishing back in the old days, and you older folks might remember this, back in the old days when I was a kid, I was probably 12, 13, 14 years old. He finished his signs with Varathane, and his spray gun was actually an accessory that came with a Kirby vacuum.
Hoover.
It was a Kirby. No, it was a Kirby. Remember, it was a huge Kirby that Mom had bought, and it had the spray attachment.
Yeah, you're right.
It was a Kirby.
We got a bunch of questions for
All right, bring them. Let's do it.
Sean Kenny, what do you charge to sharpen your bits for non-premium members?
$7 per bit, and then just a $7 charge for return shipping. So if you got, let's say, 3 bits, it's $21 for the sharpening, and then just a $7 return shipping, assuming you're in the U.S.
And assuming they're bits that we've sold.
That's true, yeah.
All right, this one,
Good
Dave. Where do you get the chains for hanging your signs?
Chains for hanging signs, you can get almost anywhere. Just go to Lowe's. Lowe's has got a good selection of chains.
Depending on how much you're going to buy. If you're going to buy a lot of them, like we buy boxes at a time, we go to androckhardware.com.
not the chains. We get
Well,
the,
no,
we get the
that's
hooks.
the screw eyes and the S hooks.
Yeah,
So
but he said chain.
Yeah, if you're talking about chain, we just buy that somewhere else. But the screw eyes and S hooks I buy from androck.com, androckhardware.com.
And if you really want to be able to buy the chains from us, send me an email. I'll go find the chains, then I'll send you a link where you can buy them.
All right. Chops David
Yeah,
said I have to learn how to pull the router to myself for carving.
Yep.
How
That'll
do you
help.
decide on inset or outset letters? That's Andy Littleton.
Most of the time, it's based on what the customer wants. Almost always, it's based on what the customer wants. I send them pictures of inset signs that I've done and outset, and I let them pick if they want. And many times they want inset. That cabin sign that I just did a couple weeks ago, she had the option to go outset or inset. She liked inset letters better.
And you can find a lot of signs like the ones that I used to have that I put in displays and say the Johnsons, Ed and Helen. Well, the Johnsons would be outset, and then the Ed and Helen would be 1-inch inset letters. So you can mix them up on a sign.
Combination, yeah.
Yeah, combination.
Yeah.
So when you're at a flea market, does the router bother the neighbor vendors, or do they put you in a separate area?
No. To answer that question, hardly ever. Most of the time, it really makes no difference. It depends on the setting. Every setting is different. But we've never had an issue
No,
with
And
it.
other neighbors don't normally. They kind of like it because you
Yeah,
got people
and
coming to your.
Yeah.
And
It
when
attracts people.
when we first started out, we were using the big Black and Decker routers, but now with the small palm routers that we're using, like the DWP 611, they're really quiet. You can even talk to somebody while the router is running, and it just routers. The small palm routers are really quiet nowadays, so you don't have to worry too much about
You
it.
do, and I will say this: you want to be sensitive to who you are, who you're next to. Let's say, for instance, and you've got a 10 by 10 space and everything's open, and you've just got a pop up, and the guy next to you is making cotton candy or something like that.
Right.
So you do
Selling
want to
tacos.
be sensitive to that. But we've never run across anything specific where we had an issue with it.
Synchromedia wants to know what's the favorite sign that you've done.
The favorite sign I've done was one that I did like decades ago, and I don't have any pictures of it at all. It was actually one that you had taken the order for, and it was a big sandwich sign, and it was for the Hells Angels. And they had come over from San Francisco to our shop in about an hour and a half east of San Francisco, and they talked to you. I was just a kid. I was just, gosh,
14, 15.
yeah, 13, 14, 15, and we did this. You designed it, and I did the carving on it, and it was this sandwich sign. It was so cool. It was so much fun.
The favorite one that he did of all of mine, I don't even know what ever happened to it, but it was one of the first ones he ever did, and it was when O.J. Simpson was a football player, and it showed him as a running back, and it showed him with his arm outstretched, holding the football and running. Just a really great sign, and he was only like 14 when he did that.
Yeah, it was.
My favorite sign that I've ever done probably would be the one I did for Dolly Parton. It was just a mass of flowers with her name on it, and just a massive colored flowers all the way around
I
it.
think that you showed that in one of your.
Might have, or
Yeah,
might have been a picture.
I've got pictures of it. I just never have really put it in any of my pictures.
But he's got a great picture of him and Dolly with that sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Gary Zellner asked maybe say suggestions on bleeding paint on the sign.
Yeah, if you're using spray paint, especially on pine, but even on other stuff, spray paint will tend to bleed into the grain, especially if you overspray, which 95% of the people do. You'll have bleeding in there. So we don't suggest to use spray paint. We use either the black primer or we use stencil ink as far as black. Other than that, spray paint just not a fan of it. Now, I am playing around with a version of spray paint that I will be doing a video on soon that may change. So remember, guys, we're always evolving. I'm always finding new ways with you guys suggesting stuff, you guys finding out stuff and letting me know. A lot of times I'll learn from what you guys do, and our stuff will evolve. So I am playing around with some spray paint right now. I'm not going to give it away yet, but we may have an alternative.
A good point though. When you're doing that, when you're spraying the background black, don't spray it too heavy. If you spray it where it just covers it, but doesn't completely cover it, where you might even see a little bit of the wood back there, that's all right, because all you're doing is giving it the appearance. But don't spray it real heavy. It just, it took me a long time to teach him. And I've tried to teach this over the years. You just don't need to spray it real super heavy.
Yeah, it took him about 30 years to get it through.
Okay, we're going to move on. Hold on. Shoot, there's a million questions.
Good. Good. We're not going to get to all the questions, guys, but you can always email me. If we don't answer it here, you can always email me, Eric at Make-A-Wood-Sign.
Aussie Fonzie says, I noticed you use corded routers, but have you ever used brushless cordless routers? I have a Makita 18V laminate trimmer router that I find great for making signs, no cord to get in the way.
Yeah, no, we did a video on them not too long ago. The big thing is the little rigid that we had that was corded. It works good for about 15 minutes, but it's only got a 2 amp hour battery. I know, and I've had many feedback from people that have a 4 amp hour or a 5 amp hour battery that said it lasts for a long time. The only drawback that I didn't like was the 2 amp hour battery. And honestly, that little rigid, the cordless against the corded, I just think it doesn't have as much power as the corded. I can hear it chatter. I can hear the router actually bog down. Now with a 5 amp hour battery or a 4 amp hour battery, that might not be the case. I don't know.
Well, you have to remember that we've been doing this for so many years with the way that we do it. It's just we're so used to it that we don't really think about it too much. But if I were starting all over again and I had an option, I probably would try to start with a 5 amp hour electric, so that you can use it even in a situation where you don't have power. Well, you could stop alongside of the road and carve a sign if you wanted to. So
okay.
If I had it all to do over, I probably would try to start with cordless routers.
On the making of this, when I was up at the Haunted Mansion, when we went up the hill, I used the rigid cordless router.
Yeah.
And I don't like it as well as the corded routers, but I certainly do respect them. And I've only tried that one rigid with the 2 amp hour battery, so the bigger battery may make a huge difference. I just don't know. I haven't done it.
All right, so this is what we're going to do. Hold up the sign.
Okay.
So this is how we're going to do the drawing. You guys have like 11 minutes to...
11 minutes? That's a long time.
I know.
Okay.
You have 11 minutes. Wait a minute, no. Let's make it 6 minutes. You've got 6 minutes to type the word Thanksgiving. So the word is Thanksgiving. You have 6 minutes, and at 8:25, I'm going to decide who wins.
Can they say it more than once?
No, one time. Don't cheat.
No spam.
No, that's not cheating, because
one time. You said I get to do the drawing.
Okay. She wouldn't even let me finish my thought.
That's all right. The boss is the boss.
I tried, guys. I tried.
One time. There was a question about preferred hanging methods.
Preferred hanging methods?
Yeah.
A noose.
You're close to it right now. If you hear Eric committed suicide, it was helped. Keyhole, chain.
For me, on a sign like this, if it's gonna hang outside or hang from an eave, I like holes here. That's traditionally holes with screw eyes and S-hooks. If you're going to put it on the wall, I think my favorite right now is a French cleat. If you don't know what a French cleat is, it's basically a piece of wood that you put on the back here, and it's got an angle on it, and then there's another piece, so you put that piece on the wall, and then it hangs there based on opposite angles, and then you can move it anytime you want to. Keyholes, I don't have any problem with keyholes. I just don't use them very often. The little picture hangers work pretty good. You could put a couple deals in here and a wire or chain. I don't...
Two-sided tape.
Yeah.
You know, you can use a mirror square for hanging, any number of ways. Or if you just have a mantle, this could just sit on a mantle, just like that. It's 1 inch thick, so.
It just, you know, it kind of all depends on the situation.
Or you could use a noose.
Yeah. Thanks for that, taking the pressure off.
Do you change your pricing for stock signs versus custom signs, or do you use the same square footage formula?
Sure. Just like we said, same square footage, you start off with the $50 a square foot base price, and then you add 10 or 15 or 20% for graphics, special fonts, have to do something special, or painting, another 10 or 15%. So custom signs are just standard signs, same basic price per square foot.
But, however, I will say that if you can come up with a stock sign that is repeatable, that you can do over and over and over, and you make yourself a really, which I've showed videos on making a layout template, so you can lay it out literally in a matter of seconds, and you can make them, let's say you can make them out of like scrap material or something like that, and you can do a high production on them, then yeah, you can discount the price, you know.
Sure, simply because you're making those in volume.
Yeah.
And you can make them up 15 or 20 or 30 at a time in your spare time when you're not doing a custom sign. And pretty soon you've got a stack of 40 or 50 of them that are already made, and you sort of made them in your spare time. So you can charge a lot less for that.
Yeah, so you can discount signs like that. I would. I didn't do that too much in Oatman, but I had a lot of stock signs, and I did exactly what you said. That was my in-between orders kind of stuff, and I would stack those up so that I kept that router running.
And I remember one time about 45 years ago, I had a mobile home company wanted me to make 6x24 signs for their mobile homes. Well, they were all going to be exactly the same.
Right.
So I made a pattern for them, and I made up like 120 of those things. And I sold them for about half of what I would if I were making them up singly one off. But I did them all in my spare time between making signs. So, you know, I still got like $20 a piece for them. And I did over 100 of them, so.
And that was the one with the mountain logo on it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it was their logo that they wanted to attach right to every mobile home that they sold. And I remember it was really cool looking mountain logo with a shape on it.
And I made those really at a good price, but it was a couple of $1,000 worth of signs, so.
And that was back in the 70s?
Right,
yeah, that was back in the 70s.
Yeah.
A couple of questions. One I'm going to answer. Where did I see it? Hold on.
It's about time.
I can get a word in edgewise. Goodness sakes, a lot of things.
Yeah, I remember that. That was really a cool design. It was a mountain shape on the top, and then it was kind of oval.
Yeah.
It had a round. We've still got the pattern out
Susan
there
Alexander
somewhere.
wants to know what font I used for that. So very thankful. I didn't use a font, Susan. I stole that off of Google. And no, we're not going to make a template for it. Somebody's asking if we're going to make a template for it.
For what?
For this.
That.
Oh, for
People
that.
really like that design. Vicki
Google
found it
it.
off of
I
Google.
just found So Very Thankful on Google. You can find it.
And you clicked it, images?
Clicked on images, and
it was a rip-off.
Used it, yeah. Just stole it.
Well, you can take a picture of this and draw it out and make your own pattern.
Send me an email. I'll send you the artwork. Dan Dozier, can you pay for a full year at one time to become a premium member? Yes, Dan, but you have to call me.
That way you don't have to do it every month on a
Right.
reoccurring thing.
Be righteous. I used a little zigzag picture hanger on the back of the. Okay.
Yep.
Eric,
yeah, good hangers.
Yeah.
Eric, just an update. The pre-stained wood conditioner did not work as well as the sanding sealer does it preventing bleeding.
Really? Good to know. Thank you.
Alright, last chance. Type in Thanksgiving. Oh, we're going over.
You got about, what, 30 seconds?
Yep.
You got to say when and stop, you know.
Do I have any issues with copyright? Nobody's called me yet. So. Alright, last
Were
chance.
they talking about your stuff or
that, when I
I
took
think
that
she's
off
talking
Google.
about this.
Yeah, there couldn't be any copyright on,
Alright,
on
we got
this.
30
Why?
seconds.
Why couldn't there be?
Well, it's just this isn't anything that somebody would copyright.
Well, to me, it doesn't really come into play because this ain't for sale. We're not selling it.
Well, and
So we're not making any
and
profit.
it's not.
on it.
It's
We're
not.
giving
A,
it
it's
away.
not. It's not like it's a brand like Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
This is not a brand.
But it might be their
Okay.
artwork.
Now,
Five,
somebody
4,
could.
3, 2, 1. Done. Okay.
All right.
Make me hot here.
So it's theoretically possible somebody could
If it's
apply
a piece of
for a
artwork.
copyright for this, but the chances of it happening are so.
All right, Dave, pick a number between 101 and 117.
72.
72. All right, hold on.
My point about being able to
All right.
get in twice on the Thanksgiving is that the first one or two or three or four, you know, they.
Oh my God, stop.
Anyway. My point is they should be able to say it over and over. That way they could be early and then in the
We
middle.
better
And
start
then,
talking.
All right, fine. You guys got 5 minutes. If you have entered once, go ahead and enter again.
all right. So do we have questions coming then? Well,
I,
Did we do something wrong?
no,
yeah.
no.
I made her mad.
You didn't make me mad. You just told me I could do it, and then now you're doing it. So stop.
I'm not doing it. I was just making my point.
Jeff Robinson says, "Do you have deft sanding sealer in your area, and have you tried it?"
I used to use Deft, D-E-F-T, right? D-E-F-T.
Yeah.
I used to use Deft because that's what Lowe's carried. But then they stopped carrying it, at least in our area. They stopped carrying it and replaced it with something else, and then they stopped carrying that, and then they brought in the Minwax. So now they're carrying the Minwax, and that's the sanding sealer I'm using now. So just because that's what they carry at my local Lowe's, I'm getting the stink eye from my wife. So
But people that are tuned in wonder what the hell's going on there. It's a good thing they can't see her on camera.
yes, it is. I'm tempted to hold up a mirror right now.
Keep going. I've got to open the door. I'm hot.
Okay. Yeah. Vicky's getting a little hot under the collar, I think. Yes.
Should we have
So-
quit talking?
No, not you, me. It was all me. So, keep the questions coming. I guess we got a couple more minutes.
Well, go ahead and talk about something that you're doing now.
What's the
maybe.
best wood to use for beginning carvers, and that's somebody said, and that's when I shot him, Your Honor.
That's funny. The best wood to use, it depends on what you have available, depending on where you're at. If I had to pick my favorite wood to use to start, probably cedar. Redwood is good.
Mine would be Clearheart Redwood.
Yeah.
But my second choice would be cedar. Third choice probably be basswood.
I hate basswood.
I know you do,
I hate it.
but it is such good wood.
Yeah, but it carves like crap.
Oh, it carves good.
No,
and
I
there's
carve
no
like
grain
crap.
to it. You don't get to jumping in the grain. There's just no grain.
I'll tell
to
you, I
it.
carved a piece of cherry the other day. Some cutting boards that Vicky's making. Cherry carves really nice, and I've heard that before. Even though it's hard, it carves very consistent. It's a beautiful with a finish on it, and it carves really well.
You want to be sure to keep your router bit sharp, though.
Yeah. Well, I always do that.
Well, on some woods, pine and cedar and redwood, you don't necessarily need to keep your router bit super sharp.
Yeah.
But on some of the harder woods, you do need to make sure you keep it sharp.
The cool thing about cherry, though, and some of the hardwoods, and I've been doing more and more experimenting with different woods because people are sending me stuff. The cool thing about some of the hardwoods is there's not the hard soft that you get sometimes in cedar and in redwood because it's so soft in between the grains, but then it's hard on the grain. That's tougher than carving something that's all hard, consistent all the way through.
You remember carving cottonwood?
I didn't do it. You did.
Oh, cottonwood is one of the most difficult woods that I've ever carved, but simply because you'll have 3/8 of an inch. They all look the same, but you'll have 3/8 of an inch of super hard grain, and you'll bust into something that's like marshmallow when it goes and just jumps. It is really difficult to carve on cottonwood. Very hard to carve. And plus, it gets sand in the grain. It'll pull sand up into the grain of the wood. So even if you're carving with carbide, it'll hit that sand and throw out sparks. Just very difficult to carve.
Yeah.
But it is makes a nice looking slab, but difficult to carve.
Back in those days when you did that, seemed to me like it was pretty popular. People were making a lot of tabletops and stuff.
Exactly.
Out of the cookies, out of the,
Right.
the slabs.
They take the slabs, make tabletops or something out of
And
them.
they've got a
Want me to carve it.
beautiful
Very
grains,
difficult to carve.
but beautiful grain in it.
Oh yeah,
I remember.
makes a nice sign
Yeah.
or a nice tabletop, but hard to carve.
Vicky's getting her workout tonight. She read a comment just a minute ago after that thing that said something like, and Your Honor, that's when I shot him. Let's see, what else is going on? I've got working on a collaboration with a friend of mine down in Phoenix right now. I've done my part of it, and it's going to be a video that he's going to have on his channel. I'm going to have on my channel, and I did half of it, and he's doing the other half of it. I think it's going to come out really, really cool.
Is that one with the lights?
Don't give it away. Don't give it away. Yes, it's that one.
Okay.
We can't let the bag out of the cat yet.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Anyway, yeah, but
When you tell me about something and you don't tell me not to talk about it,
that's why I just told you.
I talk about it.
Yeah, that's why I just said that. But anyway, I think it's going to come out pretty cool. We should have something on it in the next couple weeks because it's a Christmas giveaway, and it'll be another giveaway.
You said 72, right?
That's what I said.
Oh, I've counted it 3 times. I'm hot. I'm very hot.
You had to pick a high number.
No, that's all right. I could have said 1 in 10.
Yeah.
I just lost my place.
So, guys, what are you up to this weekend? This is
No,
Veterans
don't ask
Day.
any questions. It keeps going up, and I'm losing my count.
Okay. Never mind. Forget I said that. Anyway, if you guys have questions that didn't get answered here, I hesitate to say this, but email me. I'll answer you. Spent a lot of time answering questions lately, but I love it. So, no big deal. Another hour or two, no big deal.
Yeah. If it was up to me, I'd sneak up to Vicki and say, "You planned this?"
Stop it.
Monday's Veterans Day, so there's no shipping on Monday.
Okay.
Awkward silence. Okay, so what else we got going on? I was gonna wait on this announcement, but in a couple weeks, Dad and I and Rachel are going to see Tony Robbins and Gary V down in Phoenix.
All right.
He's putting on a deal with Tony Robbins and Robert Herjavec. They're doing a success seminar thing. So we're going to get to see...
I guess everybody knows who Gary V is.
I think,
but for those who don't, it's Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah.
They call him Gary V.
And it's actually Tony Robbins, I think, is the headline. And Gary and Robert Herjavec, who's one of the sharks on the Shark Tank. So that should be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
Victoria Mueller said her first grandbaby, her grandson, is due December 20th.
Oh, congratulations, Sweet V. Sorry we didn't get to finish our phone call the other day. We were talking with some issues that you had, but call me back. I was going to write you an email, but I think you had a customer come in or something.
Ready?
Yeah.
Drum roll, please.
Okay. So, number 72 then.
Number 72, and I counted it 3 times.
Okay, good.
Crystal Simpson.
Crystal Simpson. I think I just commented, or I think she left a comment on the YouTube channel, and I just answered it a little while ago. Congratulations, Crystal. It's yours. So,
Susan Alexander says, Eric, you're the Gary V in sign carving marketing.
Do we have Crystal's address?
Yes, it is my blood you hear boiling.
Do we have Crystal's address? Do you know? Crystal, right, how do you want her to get you the address?
Crystal, send me an email. Crystal, are you still here? Crystal. Kurt Tuttle.
Kurt, how you doing, Kurt?
Kurt asked I think it was Kurt that asked if we're going to be in Atlanta this year. Yes,
absolutely.
We are.
February.
I'm not.
Yep, Vic and I are going to Atlanta. Workbench Con in February.
Hi,
absolutely.
Crystal. Do I have your information? Everybody's congratulating Crystal.
Good job, Crystal. By the way, if any of you are going to be in and around Workbench Con in Atlanta, we want to do another meetup.
Ann. Ann's going to bed now. She's had enough of you.
Good night. Good night, Ann. We are going to do a meetup sometime during that Workbench Con weekend thing. So if you guys are going to be in and around there when Workbench Con, I can't even remember the dates right now, but we'll be talking about more about it as the weeks go along.
All right, Ann, maybe you went to bed. But, Crystal, I'm sorry. Crystal, email me at vickywithdavessigns@gmail.com. VICKI. Eric is going to be sleeping on the couch, Andy. Thank you very much.
Andy Earl?
Yeah.
I figured that was Andy Earl.
Probably a week. Anyway. My email, Crystal, my email is VICKIWITHDAVESIGNS@gmail.com. Nope, never been to Kansas City. Actually, I flew in there several times when we were flying to, I think so. Anyway. Okay. Eric, you should start pounding on the table. Justin, you are an instigator. Victoria says she'd like to come to Atlanta, just need the dates. I will get back to you on that.
Yeah,
that is a mouthful. Sorry, Kurt.
You realize that one of these days we'll be doing one of these and everybody will be in a hologram so everybody can see everybody.
Yeah, well.
Isn't that going to be phenomenal?
Yeah, it's going to be hard for me to reel you guys in at that point.
Yeah. Right.
All right, wrap it up, boys. You got a couple of minutes to wrap it up.
Okay, guys. So if you want to know when we're going to be in Atlanta, check out, just type in Workbench Con in Google and it'll give you the dates. We have the dates. We've already got our room and our flights and all that. So you can find out the dates we're going to be in Atlanta just by Googling Workbench Con. And I think we're getting there the day before. But anyway, we'll pick a time and we'll find a way to meet up and do kind of an impromptu little meetup like we did last year, which was really cool. That was so much fun. What else?
Yes, say thank you to the veterans. Veterans Day that's right.
That
thank
is, yeah. Who said that?
Kurt Tuttle.
Kurt Tuttle. Thank you so much to the veterans. We owe you guys everything for our great country and
everything
and
we have is because of you guys and what you've done.
All of our freedoms and all of our opportunities come from the fact that you guys sacrificed for us. So no doubt we owe you guys everything. So thank you, veterans.
No. We don't give Eric a break. You just don't. You just don't know, Chris.
Chris who? Thank you, Chris.
Chris Fugit?
Chris Fugit. Thanks,
right,
Chris.
You guys stop having his
appreciate
back.
appreciate that, Chris.
I don't know what I have to deal with. Okay. All right.
The only reason I have to be careful is because she cooks my food. So
that's right.
I have to be a little bit careful what I say and do.
All right. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Hey guys, we're out of here. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. And Vicky's gonna hate me saying this, but I figure I'll throw it out. If you guys like these Q&As to be a little bit more often, let me know. I'm curious. I just want to know.
I don't mind getting involved in these. A lot of times the kids are doing stuff that I don't get involved in, but for something like this, I'm always happy to be here. And if you have a question from something that happened 100 years ago, I'll be glad to share with you.
So yeah, let me know. Write me.
Guys, stop.
Write me and let me know.
Okay, we're done.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So. Write me, Eric at MakeAWoodside.com for any questions we didn't get to, and I definitely will get to them. So let us know. Everybody have a great weekend, and we're out.
Bye.
Bye.